Coming to you from an otherworldly ream of love and cats, it's time for a bit of tea and telly. Pour a cup of positivity and say hello to your host, Maria.
Hey everybody, how are you guys? Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've been live that I hope I remember where all the buttons are. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. And you know what's fun is being back. I have, of course, starting it off with an awesome guest. You've, excuse me, seen him here before. And when he was on last time, we were talking about something that piqued my interest. See, I can't even talk. So I want to kind of elaborate on that a little bit. Hey, good to see y'all. Let me bring everybody on and we'll say hi to y'all. My co-host and director of marketing is going to be joining me, help me out. And you all know Dr. Omega.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, thanks for joining me and helping me out here. And let me bring on my guest because I'm excited to have him on. And, he's a busy man, so let's not waste his time. Hey, Eric.
Hi, Maria. Hi, Dr. Omega.
Yes. Yeah, good to have you with us. I'm so glad you're joining us. And you're busy traveling right now, right?
Yes.
Through space and time.
I'm on a top secret mission in Texas.
In Texas.
Yes.
I won't tell anybody if you tell me. No, I'm just kidding. Good to have you with us. And I know you're a busy man, so I want to kind of just touch on a few things. Everybody's saying hi. Heidi out there, Miss Alicia, thank you for joining me. PJ saying hi to you, Mr. Eric. And Connie, thanks for being here. And all of you others that'll be joining. Excuse me. So last time you were on with us, we were talking about the pictures that you were taking about space. And I absolutely love space for a lot of reasons. There's so much mystery to it. And I was talking to you about the equipment that you use in order to take these awesome photos that you were doing. And I had a big folder to share, and it's been a while. I kind of misplaced it, but we'll get there. So tell me once again, tell them, since they probably don't remember, what do you use to take pictures of our space?
Well, it's actually a much simpler camera than you would think. It's an old Canon Rebel. It's a DSLR. It's a regular camera, and I have a giant lens that I put on it. It goes up to 600 millimeters, which is still. I mean, it's a big lens, but it also is not. I mean, you would look at it, and it just looks like a camera with a big telephoto lens on it. It does not look like a telescope.
Oh my gosh,
but
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but it does most everything. I mean, the more advanced that you get involved in the hobby, you can definitely get more dedicated astrophotography gear, but it's very expensive, and so I'm still dabbling in the version of it with equipment that I already had.
That's pretty cool. How long do you have to keep your equipment still in order to capture something, or do you kind of surf around a little bit?
Well, it's actually kind of a cool process. So the camera gets mounted to Star Tracker, which is a motorized mount that follows the rotation of the Earth. So once you line up to a star and you have to line up to the North Star, and then you can point the camera at any place in the sky, and the motor will automatically turn at the speed that the Earth turns, which is really cool. And it's almost perfect, but it's not quite perfect. So then you have to put a separate little mini telescope on the camera as well. And that mini telescope looks at the star field and sends the signal to a computer, and the computer makes little corrections throughout to make sure that the camera is really, really locked on the stars. So, and then what I will do is I'll run the camera, for 4 or 5 hours, uh, at night, but it's taking many pictures, and each picture the shutter is open for about 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But the motor and the mini scope and the sorry, my computer's doing stuff. Um, the star tracker mount and the guiding telescope make it so that it really follows the stars the whole time without blurring them, and it's very cool. It's very fun, but I like it because I used to do photography with a dark room and with a projector and the chemicals and everything like that. And there's a very like hands-on, tactile feeling to working with film that way. But that feeling is kind of absent with digital photography because you could basically see a preview of exactly what you did the instant that you shot it, and
Oh my
maybe
gosh, that's
touch it up a
awesome.
little bit, which is great, but it takes some of the fun out of it. So I think that the astrophotography puts a lot of that nerdy math back into it that I really got into.
That's exciting. I want those toys. I do.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. O, do you have a question before I start blathering on here?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. I wonder if you doing that inspires your work and creativity in what you do now as well.
It does, because I think everything that you do to get more more in depth with the equipment and push your own limits with the equipment and push yourself into a zone that you're not comfortable in, that forces you to have to learn the equipment even better than you had, because it gets very easy to do the same thing every time. And so when you exercise that part of your brain that forces you out of the comfort zone, it kind of makes you have a newfound respect for the tools that you've gotten used to. So I don't know. I enjoy it very much. Oh no, we lost the doctor.
He'll be back in a second. He'll be back. But yeah, because, well, for those of you who are in here, hey, Classic Glue, thank you for joining. And PJ is a new member of Tea and Telly now, which thank you. But finally, no, just kidding. There he is. Let me add him back here. There you go.
Hi.
Well, because for those of you who are in here and remember Eric from the last time, remember that he does work on he did work on the Orville for the VFX team and did outstanding work there. And that's why I kind of wondered if the love of space also helped motivate the look and feel of things.
It did, and I'm trying to remember when we last talked.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think it was before the show started airing, or it had just started airing, season 3, but it hadn't. I don't think all the episodes had aired yet. But,
yeah, I don't think it all had aired yet.
So, along with a lot of artists, I was very heavily involved in the new version of the opening credits, in helping to design the shots for the opening, the title sequence, and all the fun flybys, everything like that. So there were a lot of artists involved with that, but I feel like that was kind of my little pet project along with it. And a lot of the work that went into that was based on real stellar events that we can see, the Helix Nebula. We kind of envisioned what it would be like to be inside of it.
Nice.
And very much that was, and also seeing the auroras from being in space over Earth, seeing the aurora encompassing the northern hemisphere. So we wanted to show elements that were things that you might typically see from the NASA photography or from the space station, so that it had it doesn't lose its fantastical science fiction
Yes.
quality, but it reminds you that all of this is kind of grounded in an Earth, or in a real, we're in real space, not totally fantasy space. So there was a whole episode where they go to the Veil Nebula. And I'm trying to, man, I mean, it's been a while, and a lot of the episodes are they're. I'm trying to remember exactly which event it was, but they traveled to the Veil Nebula. I believe it's when they was time traveling, and they needed to. Oh yeah, that looks very familiar. That one's a little more expensive than mine.
It looks like it.
Yeah, but yeah, I have that exact same guide scope. So that little
Awesome.
guide scope that I mentioned, that little red guy up there, that's exactly what I have, and that's what my camera looks like attached to the lens. But instead of a telescope, I have just a photography lens, and then
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's a pretty good look at what it looks like.
Yeah, I love that setup. To have that, because I'm just so fascinated with space. There's so much mystery to it, and there's so much. I mean, it seems quiet, well, obviously, but there's so much more happening out there in the skies that we are aware of, and I'm always like, I want to be the one to capture it.
Yeah. Well,
how far away can you see, Eric, with your equipment? Like
well,
how far out?
The farthest that I have seen with my equipment is I think is officially, and I don't know if I can share a screen.
Oh yeah, let me remove this down.
The farthest I've seen is, I want to say, 22 million light years away.
Oh my gosh!
Let's see here.
Just with the equipment that you have now, that's how far you could see.
Yep. So hang on one second. It's telling me. Okay, I'm going to just see if I can window. Oh yeah, this guy.
Okay.
And this galaxy right here. That guy is 20. I think it's 22 million light years away.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Yeah, and
that's amazing.
And this image is 10 hours worth of photographs.
Seriously?
10 hours worth of 5-minute long photographs, and you put them together. Gosh. When you first see them, they don't look that. It looks like you could barely see it. But when you keep adding layer upon layer upon layer, you're adding more data to it. So you think of the astrophotography less as not so much about doing photography, but gathering data. It's always about getting the cleanest amount of data that you can get. But that one turned out pretty good.
Looks a bit like a French crawler.
Yeah, it really does. I was mentioning the Veil Nebula. This one is called the Veil Nebula, and it's also called the Cygnus Loop, and it is the remnants of an exploded star. And we actually used bits of this photograph that I took from my front yard in some of the VFX in the backgrounds of the Orville season 2.
That's awesome. I want to have a starship battle in there.
Yeah, really.
You have to excuse me.
But yeah, it's all right. No,
So Eric, do you sell any of your photos or put them anywhere for viewing? Or?
Oh, hang on. Let me stop sharing my screen before it goes crazy. There. No, I don't. Not yet. It's there's, was a little bit of an NFT craze with the astrophotography for a stretch. I don't know if that's still as exciting as it was a couple years ago. But I really, I haven't really printed any yet, and I haven't really sold any yet because I always feel like the internet's a weird place. When you start to take up a new hobby, the internet's a great place to turn to find tutorials and stuff to teach you how to go in a direction. And then all of a sudden it feels like everyone on the planet is doing the same thing that you're doing. And then you get surrounded by people who are doing much better work than you are. And so I feel like I'm very proud of my work, but I've seen other work that is worth selling, and I don't mind sharing mine at all. I think it's fun,
Yeah.
but I haven't thought of selling it.
No. Excuse me. 1 second.
She has a nebula caught in her throat.
Yeah.
Some space dust.
Oh, let me see.
Okay. I can barely take a picture of the moon or something like that. So those are amazing, and I think that's why I was just blown away, because even the chat is like, wow, they're taken
See,
back
Maria
by
goes
those.
the other way. She takes some amazing macro photography of like bees in a flower.
Oh,
I mean, like
that's
huge.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of going the other direction, but yeah.
Yeah.
Don't sell your throat short.
It's awesome. Oh, I'll share one more just to share it, because this one is fun just because it's something that in the right time of year you can actually see it with your own eye. And you probably have seen it a million times and never knew what you were looking at. But this is the Orion Nebula, and this little guy up on top is called the Running Man Nebula. But they're both parts of Orion's sword. So if you, in the winter months, see the 3 stars in a row, that's Orion's belt. And then there's a little blurry smudge below the belt, and that blurry smudge is this nebula.
Holy moly. I get chills seeing this.
And it's fun because
love it.
this is a very, very, it's a very impressive thing to take a picture of, but it happens to be the easiest thing to find. And it happens to be the easiest thing to learn to practice on. So it's very rewarding.
I bet. And you know how, like, whenever you look at the sky and see clouds, we all make pictures of them. Oh, that looks like something. I love to do that with those pictures as well. Like they're creating something, some art. And I have a question here from the amazing PJ. With a $5 super chat. Thank you.
What does ArtGrid.io? I don't know ArtGrid.io. I will have to check it out.
Where do I know that? Dr. O, was that in what I had sent you? Because I was kind of looking at that as well.
I haven't seen ArtGrid.io, but
no, not that. Well, I'll have to take a look at that. Thanks, PJ. PJ likes space too. Thank you for the super chat. I'm watching the time, so just let me know if you have things to do.
I might have to get more beer.
Oh, nice. I'm all being all Planet Fitness water.
Well,
bit of beer sounds good. Oh gosh, what was I going to mention? So I think, yeah, I can imagine why you wouldn't want to sell it, because that kind of takes away, I think, from the fun.
Maybe it would be fun to sell it. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't really explored selling it. It's just I'm still in the process of enjoying doing it. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
I'll
right,
check it out.
PJ. Might be good. What are they? Did you mention that, Doctor? Was it the NFTs that were they where you put your work on there?
Oh yeah, NFTs are, yeah, that's what Eric was talking about. That's one of the, like Mohatch used to do that with the his doodles. I think they got big because of those gorilla drawings.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh yeah,
think.
the apes. Somebody stole my apes. God darn it. I remember that. Okay, I'm looking at the art grid. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, so it's like stock footage. Yeah, I actually I have thought of doing that. And but not I haven't I'm not familiar with art grid, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I wanted a place post my bees. I don't know if I ever showed that one to you, Eric.
Yeah, sure.
It's do you have that, Doctor? But I'm really good at taking close-up pictures. I'm gonna pull it up here in a second, but I was amazed. I know what it takes just in myself to take little micro pictures of things, the patience and time, and I find it very zen. Do you find it very zen to kind of?
I do. That's the thing is like I used to practice meditation.
Uh-huh.
I find it harder and harder, and I know that people who practice meditation would just tell me, "Well, just do it, and it's fine." But I find it harder and harder to find time. So I've
Yeah.
found different forms of meditation. So the astrophotography is definitely a meditative craft, but I also, whenever I'm playing music.
Yeah. And when I say zen too, that means like for me, it's whatever you absolutely love to do and you just focus and concentrate on that and that you just enjoy every bit of it. And here's one of them that I took.
Oh, wow. That's remarkable. Wow.
And
Wow.
the colors and everything, just the way they picked up on that.
Yeah,
And
that's beautiful.
I have another one where you could see the food on his feet, like the
Oh,
pollen.
wow.
Yeah, and so I had thought about that as well because I'm a big bee person.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. Yeah,
oh wow.
and it takes
And tell me
time.
what kind of equipment are you using for that?
You're gonna love to. I have. Oh my gosh, what kind of camera do I have? A Nokia, and I don't even have special attachment lenses to it.
Oh,
I
wow.
just kind of just use the filters on there, and once in a while, if it's just the moment, I'm just grabbing my phone, which is
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
But that's why I like the phone to make phone calls
Yep.
and to take pictures.
Well,
But
the phone is a remarkable tool, and it is the cameras now are great. Like I actually use my phone camera to shoot elements from time to time that get used on TV.
nice. I love photography, and it went black. I'm sorry.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah, look at his.
See the little pollen spores. I don't even know what those are called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a happy bee.
Mm-hmm.
A great picture.
Thank you. And it takes a lot of time, but it's very zen. So, but I would love to do space as well because I'm so fascinated with that. But I don't know why. I think because bees are so quiet and they're busy working and they're of course important to us, but I don't think so. But you'll have to tell me. Thank you. Oh, okay. You'll have to do that. Back in the Viking days. She just used the term amazing balls. Okay. Thank you. Now, picture taking is amazing. I think that's why I wanted to know all the equipment that you use. And I love the fact that you're not going absolutely crazy, getting all this crazy equipment to take the most amazing pictures. Those are amazing pictures, Eric. That they really are. That you're doing.
Well, thank you. Yours are as well.
Thank you. And I'm always hoping to. Yes, PJ. They're fun. I'm always like wanting to capture something in a natural state, but something unusual that no one has ever captured before.
Well, I think that's beautiful.
Thank you for that. And sorry, I'm still trying to locate my folder that I had of your stuff that I wanted to.
I always like pictures like this for wallpapers for my computer. It's the perfect,
Yeah.
Yeah,
see it several times a day, and you just kind of go, wow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think people take for granted what's out there too. I think we're so busy, we never take a moment to just stop and enjoy everything. And space is, oh my gosh, it's connected to us in lots of ways. I mean, look at the tides and what happens to the tides when space and Earth starts doing things.
Yeah, the moon is the moon. I mean, it's an amazing, like, I mean, it's like a heavenly dance, and we lose sight of the fact that these are massive things that we're seeing out there, and they're so big that we don't really perceive that they're moving. But there was somebody who did over 20 years photographs of the Crab Nebula, and then animated it, and you can see the gas expanding over the course of time. I don't know where that little video clip is, but that was a project that took a lot of dedication.
Nice. I hope that you can compose something sometime with that, to put it together. I really do like your work.
Thank you.
On what you're, all the things you do in our TV land, but also all the work that you're doing for that. And I'm hoping you can compose it sometime. I think it would be great to put it to music and just watch the symphony of the universe happen with what you've done. And Bo, say something. My voice is cracking out.
Sorry. I always think it's interesting that we have these amazing images you can stare out of space, and then even some people get audio recordings that are kind of that hum. But the one we never think about, they actually said there is a smell to space.
Yeah, it's supposed to smell like burnt iron or burnt metal,
like burnt steak. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
Ooh, burnt steak.
But like really bad burnt steak.
Yeah, so that's what I hear. I also see Orville Nation has a great question about my thoughts on the James Webb Telescope. It's one of those things that when the first images of Hubble came out, they were broken, and then they needed to send astronauts up to fix it. And then when they did fix it, and then we got the first good images of Hubble, I cried because I didn't think I would ever see anything that beautiful. And then the James Webb telescope gave me the same response. But now I'm seeing those images, knowing more about what goes into creating them and how they're created. And so it's a little bit, it's a little bit like knowing what goes on behind the curtain, because they're exposing light waves that cannot be seen by the human eye. And they're printing those light waves to colors that we can see. It's a very scientific process to present an image like that, but the
Wow.
data is so clean and clear, and that it's humbling. It's humbling in the same way that Hubble was humbling when it started working. Yes, they put glasses on Hubble. I remember it was a big controversy because all this money and we have to fix it and everything, and yet the most famous images that we all take for granted today all came from Hubble, and
Yeah.
now they're going to be replaced by new versions coming from James Webb. And that's the thing too, is like, let me see if I could pull up the image. But the thing about, I don't know how easy it is to see this, but I mean, it's hard to describe it. I'm going to do my best to show this, but the thing is, the JW space telescope. Yeah, exactly. It's that, and I wanted to just show, just to see, just before we go there, because I mean, the thing is, like, even from my backyard, and I can't really point to them. I don't know if I can point to them, but you see the main galaxy in here, but there's at least 10 other galaxies that I can find in here. And each one of those galaxies has as many stars in them as we see in the sky. And that's from my backyard outside of Los Angeles.
It's crazy.
And so then when you see this image from the web, I mean, that's mind-boggling, because you're not even really seeing any stars here. You're only seeing galaxies.
Galaxies, yeah.
And it just seems impossible that there's not at least one more out there that has life on it, you know?
Well, I think I think that it's safe to say that there's probably, billions and billions of planets with life on them out there, but the process of getting from one to the other, it's so impossible to comprehend the amount of time that it takes, that you'd have to be a life form that lasted for a million years just to make progress in getting somewhere.
Jeez. I get so upset when people like criticize pictures of space and you can't. It's like, do you have any idea what it takes to take these pictures?
Yeah. I have not heard what Captain Chris Hadfield said would happen if you stepped into space with no spacesuit, but I did hear, just on a side note, so that'd be great to hear. What Captain Hadfield said, but in 2001, Space Odyssey, there was a moment where Dave Bowman ejects himself from the pod into the airlock and is exposed to space like 10 to 15 seconds. And at the time, when that movie was made, we hadn't even landed on the moon yet. But at the time, Kubrick was willing to fess up that was the one thing he wasn't sure was scientifically plausible that they depicted in the movie. But they have since shown that a mammal, I don't know how they showed this, I don't really want to know, but it can live for up to like 30 to 45 seconds or so before.
Oh, I don't even want to know either. Yikes. Thank you, PJ, for the $2 super chat as well. He did a $5 one earlier. He is on a roll tonight. Thank you. And has another question for Eric. If the universe is still
short answer, yes. Is there life out there? Yes.
There's microscopic or sentient?
No, well, I mean, I think micro. I mean, I think that I think Arthur C. Clarke said that finding an intelligent life form out there will be impossible for us to perceive. Because, it's not. We wouldn't necessarily see something, and I do agree with Rod Thunderhart that. But yes, that I think that it's true that there is intelligent life forms out there, and that there are life forms out there that are far more developed than us and far less developed than us. And the ones that are far more developed than us, whether or not they can get around, is yet to be seen. But even still, we wouldn't. I don't even think that we could perceive them in the way that. I mean, we look around and we go, oh well. We're looking for something with 2 arms and 2 legs, and maybe some ears, and and I don't think that we could comprehend what it would mean to encounter an intelligent gaseous cloud.
Yeah.
And I think there's every bit of chance that could be out there.
Well, I've always said that we're a little selfish in thinking that we're the only ones, like we're the only supreme being here in this. I mean, space is just so incredibly large. There's probably pockets and corners we've yet to explore. There's so much out there. There's got to be. And I know that everybody is kind of like, oh, well, they've got, their vision of it is just what Hollywood and everybody else is showing us, these creatures with long faces and squiggly arms and stuff. We don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But whatever it is, whether it be microscopic or non-microscopic, and they're communicating on different levels than we are, whatever, I don't think it's far-fetched, because I think there's so much out there. I think it'd be awesome to discover that, but I don't know if we ever will.
Oh, that's the toughest part is that even the nearest stars are so far away that it's not possible to really comprehend.
We need better ships.
Yeah, we need bigger, better spaceships. If Eric had to live in a planet in the Orville universe, which one would I choose? Well, okay, so I'm a fan of Krill. I feel like they've got a good. I feel like they've got a good sense of art design. They're also a little dirty. I think that.
I kind of wonder if you lived on Krill, the light pollution what would the sky look like?
Well, we got to see Krill.
But I mean, in our world, there's so much light pollution. Half the time
Right.
you can't even see the stars.
Well,
But on Krill, it's dark with kind of bluish and orange and green lights.
Right, but I think the idea was that with Krill, their sun is very dim, so it's not providing a ton of light, and then on top of that, they're socked in with clouds, so they don't even really get a good look at the stars. So I think that that from the Mocklin refugee planet, at night there you would probably see, because they're inside a nebula, and there you get to see that sense of beauty stretching around their moons.
Having a planet inside a nebula is a bit like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you're living inside the dead head.
Oh yeah. It was interesting too, because we chose with their planet to not show the nebula too much from the ground, because it would just night needed to be night, so that when Topo was abducted, we didn't want it to be under a beautiful, magenta sky. It needed to be night.
That makes sense.
That's
What are you
cool.
showing us, Doctor?
Halloween stuff. That's
Oh,
great.
these are just various space pics that I found.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, that one's great.
I
Sun photography is its own challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. I had read an article about that there's going to be like that something's going to happen with the sun that's going to affect the wind. And I'm wondering, I mean, I know that everything that happens out there affects us in one way or another. Gee, I can't talk. I'm wondering.
The solar wind. I know that that we've had larger auroras than we have had in a long time. And there was an aurora, I want to say like a week ago, that stretched as far south as Colorado. I didn't get to see it, but I'm jealous of everyone who did get to see it.
I know.
If you look at this moonshot, you see this right here. This is the actual space station.
Yeah, that's actually that that again, and that's another, like, in the corner of the internet. There are people who track the space station. They can find out when precisely to the second the space station is going to transit over the moon within and you have to be within a 10-mile radius of where you do it from. And they will find that out, and they'll drive to it. And
have you ever gotten shots of the station, ISS?
I have not. No, I haven't. I haven't done the things that I haven't really done yet much of is planet photography. It's a whole different set of patience because the atmosphere from Earth disrupts the image so much that it's very hard to get a sharp image. Even the best ground telescopes have trouble with taking planets pictures. And then I haven't tried the space station yet, but I would love to. And then let's see, we see a lot of the Starlink satellites, and when they first launch, it takes them a couple of days before they spread out to their locations, and so for a while it looks like a line of like a train in space, it's a single row of 60 or so dots.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, but I haven't tried. I did start to look. I was following the website to find out if I could find when the space station would transit the moon in my area, but I haven't found it yet.
I got to go to the Boeing Museum.
What's that?
I got to go to the Boeing Museum in Washington, and they have
that's cool.
A module of the ISS, kind of a mock-up you can look, and on the floor is a video of the Earth rotating around. It's really cool to
that's cool.
Kind of see how they live up there, you know.
PJ question. Does any of you of the photography that you do, Eric, ever make it to the screen in some fashion in film?
Yes. Yes, quite a bit, although mostly you wouldn't know. But yeah, one of my Nebula pictures ended up in Orville season 3. But I also shoot a lot of elements that get composited into other things. So almost every project I have worked on has a lot of stuff that I've shot, put into it.
Do you guys ever have anybody from like NASA or anybody that kind of helps consult in some ways when they're creating the space?
So Andre Bormanis, who's one of the main writers on the show, is an astrophysicist.
Oh, wow.
And also Seth is close with Neil deGrasse Tyson. And Seth produced the new Cosmos show. So a lot of the conversation about what stuff should be happens at the writing stage and is already figured out before we get to it. And then
wow.
when we present it, we always have to send it to Andre to get a stamp of approval of, yeah, this is what this was. What
So he's not like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
well, there's the legend of how with Titanic, Neil Tyson called James Cameron after watching it and said, yeah, it's a great movie you got there, except those aren't the stars that would be in the sky at that time of year over the Atlantic Ocean. And it pissed off James Cameron so much that they actually did fix it for the video release.
Oh my gosh.
But so there is a
Didn't he
running
spend
joke.
a lot of money on that too.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing too, is like back then, I mean, Titanic was, I mean, at the time, the biggest movie ever made and the biggest visual effects movie ever made, but there was only 320 visual effects shots in the whole movie.
Oh, wow.
Whereas like we would routinely blow past that every episode of Orville without hesitation.
Right.
So, I think our smallest episode of Orville had at least 500 visual effects shots.
Well, I think I remember reading that Andre, when he worked on Next Generation, they would write the script and just write the word technobabble in the script.
Yeah.
Let's go technobabble the technobabble so we can technobabble.
Yeah.
And then they just hand it to Andre to fill in the blanks, basically.
Which, in a way, I mean, he's a very talented writer in and of himself, and a very good storyteller. But yeah, we would do that as well. It's like, well, we need text on a monitor here, and send it to Andre, and he would come up with the random text that goes in there. So when they pull up Gordon's obituary, when page on screen, Andre, they said, I'll just send it to Andre, he'll figure it out.
He's like, PJ has another question. He has a lot of questions tonight. Thank you, PJ.
Have I ever photographed any lunar transit phenomena? No, I have not. I did photograph. I don't have the shot with me, but this is before I took space photography seriously. But I did get a picture of Venus transiting the sun when it happened many years ago. And that was a cool challenge. What else? Honestly, taking pictures of the moon is tough because the moon is very bright, and so it's hard to get a good clean picture of the moon. This is my moon picture here.
I've only just heard that the moon actually made a gong sound when they dropped something on it, implying that it's hollow.
Yeah. Interesting.
It rang for like an hour. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's your moon picture?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
That's your moon shot?
Yeah, it's my moon shot.
I love it.
But this is about, actually, I think this might have been like 300 pictures that I took very fast.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Because you can only, with the moon, you have to expose it very fast.
Yeah, I bet. The detail and that's amazing, though.
Yeah, fun target.
I like to go to NASA's page and see the pictures they have there, and I must look like a dweeb because I will zoom it up and I'm sitting there for like ever because there's so much detail to it. It's amazing. I love looking at pictures of space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I wanted him here because I'm just, I love this stuff. It's amazing. Just like what you said.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. Our time's about up, and I should allow you to. I had other stuff, but that's all right. We can check that out later. Thank you, Rod, for joining me and for your input and everything. and PJ for all your questions and super chats. And this was fun.
Yeah, thank
I
you
am
all very much.
in that way. And I would love to see your work. Because I like staring at Eric.
Oh,
It's good stuff.
thank you.
But
No astronaut movie sequel yet. No, I haven't. Not there yet. I would love to though. I would love to.
what are you posting here, real quick?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, just NASA.gov. You're
Yeah,
talking about
NASA.gov.
website.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love going there and checking out stuff.
I'm really bummed out. I've had several business trips to Florida, and I keep passing the off ramp that says Cape Canaveral that way. I just never had a chance to visit yet. So
You turn there sometime. Well, I will let you get back to what you're doing, Eric. And it's such a pleasure to have you. I love talking space. And you
Well,
have
great to see you.
a good night. Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.
All right.
And hey, all, thank you all for being here. We're going to head out and let Eric have his evening. And I will catch you guys later on with the announcements. Take care, guys. Good to have you.
Thank
Saying, love her if you wanna go, I'm down. Darling, we'll make the biggest thing. Saying,